If you're running tracks in arrangement view, what do you do when you get between songs and want to make a smooth transition using a drone pad? Hey, my name is Will Doggett, Ableton Live certified trainer and founder from Studio to Stage. In today's tutorial, I'm going to show you how you can use drone pad audio samples in arrangement view alongside with your tracks, make smooth transitions between pads, and help make transitions between keys. So let's get started. Okay, so let me show you what I'm talking about. I've got a track loaded in arrangement view, and I just want to play the last bit here and show you how the song ends. So it's fading out of the end, and then we drop to silence. Now, at this point, I may have another song set up to transition. This song is in the key of D, but what if we get out of here and we're not sure exactly what song we're going to, or we need to go from D to G or to C? I'd like to be able to use some sort of drone pad to make that happen. So let me play from a little further out, and again, just kind of a noise thing. I'm gonna go ahead and start a pad that's in the key of D, so you can hear how that's adding to the sound. As soon as we get done, that pad's gonna keep playing, okay? And here you hear the pad going. So now I could play keys on top of that if I want to. Okay, but what if I need to get to the key of C? So let's say I'm gonna stay on this G. I'm gonna trigger my pad in the key of C, and that's gonna get me to C, and then now I can play any song in the key of C. Okay, and now what if I want to fade the pad out, the end of this? I'm going to do that, and that's going to smoothly fade my pad out so that I can just go back to keys if I want, or I could start another song in a different key. This is super easy to do, and for this example, I'm going to be using rendered audio pads. Let me show you how I did it. So the first thing you're going to want to do is create a drum rack and drag a drum rack into Ableton Live. And you can see what I did here. I'm going to try to recreate it for you so you kind of see the process step by step. So I'm going to grab my drum rack, and then the next thing I want to do is drag in my audio samples. So I've got just a few different pad sounds in 5 different keys, C to G. So what I'm going to do is drag each of these onto individual pads here in the drum rack. And I want to drag them so they correspond with whatever key they were recorded in. So E goes to E, F goes to F, and G goes to G, okay? Now on each of these pads, I want to make a couple changes. Right now they're set to 1 shot. This is only about a minute-long pad, but if you have a pad that's about 12 minutes and you'll never go beyond that, that is great. If you need it to loop, you could go to classic and set the loop point so that your track at the end loops, and it can loop back and forward, or it can start at the beginning and loop again, and you can do some really cool stuff. But for the sake of this, I'm going to leave it set to 1 shot because most drone pads are pretty long. So I've got my pads loaded in here. A couple changes I want to make in the drum rack. One, I'm going to set the fade in point for each of these so that it's a little longer, so about a second long. And then I'm going to right click and do copy value to siblings. That's going to really quickly take that same value and apply it to all the other presets, which is really, really cool. Now I want to go into some settings here from the drum rack. So I'm going to click the chain list. Then I want to show the I/O, and this is going to allow me to see what choke group each of these sounds is in. Now choke group is really beneficial when you're programming drums so that if you're playing a hi-hat, you never hear the open hi-hat sample with the closed hi-hat sample. We want it to represent a real drum set, so we can only play one of those sounds at once. And the way we would do that is put those sounds in the same choke group. I'm going to use that trick so that when I play a C drone pad, it does not also play D at the same time. It kills the C pad, transitions to D. So I'm going to select all of these, hold shift to select them all, and then I'm just going to change the choke group to 1 so that all of these again are in the same group. So let me just show you just by doing that what happens. If I trigger C, okay, we hear C playing. Let's trigger F. And you hear it stops C and transitions to F, which is great. We get a little bit of audio fade in there too, which is awesome. So let me press stop. Now, one thing I want to do is make my transitions really smooth. So if I hit stop in Ableton Live, my pad doesn't just suddenly drop out. And when I transition between the pads, there's a little bit of overlap and it doesn't get just a real quick dropout. So I'm going to go to audio effects and add a reverb. This is kind of the secret sauce to make this happen. I'm going to increase the decay time here. Okay, so this is going to be pretty long, 12-second decay time. I'm going to put it to high for quality and increase dry wet so it's 100%. So I lose all the original sound and I just get a really reverb and affected pad sound. You may want to bring spin down slightly, adjust chorus as needed. But this is what I get now. Let's trigger C. Okay, and let's change our key to the key of G. Okay, and you hear it slowly fades out because of that reverb, and the next pad slowly fades in, which is perfect. Now if I was to hit stop in Ableton Live, it's gonna send all notes off and stop that clip. But what if we want to stop just the pads but keep the track running? So this is how we can do a pretty cool trick here. So what I'm gonna do is go back to those same presets I dragged in. I'm gonna drag another one. I'm just gonna make it C2, okay? And then I'm gonna make it a part of choke group 1. But the difference I'm gonna do here is bring the volume of this all the way down to 0. The other thing I could do, and this would probably be the better way, is to use a clip of silence, like a dummy audio clip. But this is really, really fast way to do it. So I'm gonna rename this and just call this stop. And when I trigger that, that's gonna stop all my pads. I'll show you how this works. So let's press C. Okay, let's transition to G. Okay, smooth transition, but let's stop all those pads. So we'll hit stop, and you're gonna hear it kill all that, but we get the reverb trail kind of happening, which is really, really nice. So the way to put this practically is we could reach up and click each of these drum pads with the mouse, which is not very elegant, or we can use a MIDI controller that's just assigned to those pads. So in this case, let's make it to where I'm gonna use this keyboard, and I only wanna use this keyboard just for those pads. So let's go to MIDI from, and I'm gonna select the Akai MPK61, and I wanna make sure my track is record enabled or set to input for monitor. And then this keyboard is just set to trigger those sounds. So if I press C, you'll hear C come in, and I could use a separate keyboard and then play here. I could press G, and you hear that pad fade in. Let's go to E. Again, you'll hear that smooth transition happen. And then finally, when I press the C3 there, or C2, that's gonna stop all my pads. So that's a really cool kind of hack, an effective way to use pads and run drum pads alongside your tracks in arrangement view, so you can transition to any key at any time, or if you wanna run pads along with your multi-track and your stems and then transition between songs, it's super easy to do. If you wanna learn more about how to use Ableton Live on stage with keys, make sure to head to FromStudioToStage.com, where you can start your free 7-day trial. That's gonna give you access to every single course in the catalog, get you access to the private community of all subscribers where you can ask questions, chat, encourage each other, and then finally you're gonna get access to the monthly webinar that's just for subscribers. It's a great way to learn as a community and encourage each other as we learn to use Ableton Live on stage. So we would love to see you there. And thank you so much for watching the tutorial today. Hope to see you again soon. Take care. Bye.